Good morning, everyone, or good day, everyone. I am Raymeric Joaquin Menares from BSIT Block 3F. So, for today's video, we are going to derive the values for, the VLSM subnetting table and also addressing the, the scheme. So, first thing on the list that we're going to do is to know or to know or to arrange the host from largest to smallest host. Excuse. So based on the di- the diagram, we have one, two, three, four, five, six hosts and six hosts with different amount of hosts. So based on the diagram, we have the the largest, which is the 900 hosts, and then for the second host, for the second one is 765 hosts, 765 hosts. The third one is we have 350 hosts. Next one is 150, 150 and 125, and the last one is 50. 125, and then the next one is 50. Am I correct? Okay. And then next is the routers. It's two hosts for each router. For each router. So the next thing that we're going to do is to get the CDAR. So in order for us to know our CDAR, uh, we're going to check the activities that we submitted on the previous activity here. So this is my activity from the activity subnet table. So here is the CDAR. So in order for us to to get the correct CDAR, we will be, what do you call this? We will count the number of hosts, and then to get the CDAR. Sorry. So for our first host is the 900. For okay, sorry. For our first host is 900. So it's ranging 1022, and its either is 22. So next is 765. 765 is the same as on the range of 1022. The same on the first one, CDAR 22. The next is the next one is 350 hosts, which is here on the 510 hosts, which is the Cedar 23. Next one is 150 hosts. 150 hosts is 254 hosts, 24. So for number host 125 is in the range of 126 is I see that 125 25. The next one is 50 hosts is under the range of 62. It has a Cedar 26. So the so for our router we have two hosts. For our router we have two hosts. It is in the Cedar 30. Cedar 30. So for the next thing that we are going to find is the theta. Same as on the Cedar, we are going to check on the table that we've the table here, or the previous activity that we've passed. So let's just check. So in order for us to get the theta, we will be using the the Cedar. So for this one, Cedar 22. So Cedar 22, let's just check this one. This is the data for, oh sorry. Cedar 22 is 0.0.40. 0.0.04. So same with this, since it has the same Cedar. 0. And then the data for 23 is 0.0.2.0. 0.0.2.0. And then for the Cedar 24 is 0.0.1.0. 0.0.1.0. So for the Cedar 25, it has a theta of 0.0.0.128. 0.0.0.128. And then for the Cedar 26, Cedar 26 is 0.0, that is 0.64. 0.0.0.64. For our router, the Cedar 30 is 0.0.0.4. 0.0.0.4. Okay. 0.0.0.4. 0.0.0.4. Excuse me. So we are done for our Cedar and Theta. We're now be going to define or to get the network address. So in order for us to get the network address, we will just we will we will just count the number of hosts, which is 900, and then let's see on the diagram. On the diagram for it's given it's given it's a given network or the base network. So for so on the diagram, so for the network address for 900 is this one, the 192 dot 168 dot 0.0. So for the following network address, we will just increase the first network address on we'll just increase the network address according to its data. So for this or let's just add this one, like the network address and then plus the data. So for the next one is 192 that 168 that 4 that 0. So let's increase again. For the next one is increase again by 4, 100, 168 that 8 that 0. So same. Also let's add 192 dot 168 dot 10 dot 0. So let's for the next one is let's add the 1 is the next network address is 192 dot 168 dot 11 dot 0. The next one is increasing the next one is 192 that 168 that 11 that 128. So if you are wondering where this one the 128 come from, it is because on the theta of number of the 125 hosts. Just add on the last value, because 128 And the next one, let's add by 64, 192, 168, that 11, that 192, 192, that 168, that 11, that 196. Then by 4 again, 192, that 168, that 11, oh, that 200. So we're done for our network address. Let's now proceed for the first usable IP address by for our first usable IP address, just add one to the network address, 192, that 168, that 0, that 1. So before we're going to so before we're going to before we get the last usable IP address, we, we will need to finish first on deriving the the broadcast address. So in order to get the broadcast address, it's easy. Just see the next network address. So for the next is this one. This is the next network address, 192.168.4, sorry, that 3.255. So for the last usable address, just 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 decrease the last values for the broadcast address. Just type 192, that 168, that 3, that 254. Oh, wait. Okay. 192, that 168, that 4, that 1, that 4, that 1, the broadcast address is 192, that 168, that 8, that z 8, that 8, that 0 is that 7, that 255. 68, that 7, that 154. Just decrease by 1. And then next one, just increase by 1. So 192, 192, this one, 192, that 168, that 8, that 1. For the network broadcast address, 192, 100, that 168, that 9, that 255. And then for the last usable address, just decrease by 1 on the broadcast address, 192, that 168, that 9, that 254. So next is 192, that 168, that 10, that 1. So the broadcast is 192, that 168, that 10, that 255. 2, that 168, that 10, that 254. So next one is 192, 168, that 11, that 1. So for broadcast address, 192, that 168, that 11, 127. Then decrease by 1, 192, that 168, that 11, that 126. The next one is increase again by 1, 101, that 168, that 11, that 129. So for broadcast address, 192, 168, that 11, that 191. So just decrease by 168, that 11, that 11, that 190. Next one, just add 1 again, 192, that 168, that 11, that 193. Then 192, that 168, that 11, that 195. Then decrease by 1, 192, that 168, that 11, that 194. So for the first usable address for this one, just I think let's copy, and then let's copy. So since it's just, so it will be easy for us to do this one, this table. Then copy again 168, that on the last part 199, and then copy, let's make it 200. 200, no, 198, sorry, should be decreased by 1. Then let's copy again this one, Then let's add 1, and then let's copy, then by 2, and here is increase by 1, increase by 1, so 203. This decrease by 1, so 202. So now that we're done to VLSM subnetting table, we can now proceed on our addressing scheme. So for interface, let's input the fast Ethernet 0, and then 0, then fast Ethernet 0, then sorry, SE 0, 0, then for the next one is SE 1, 0. Oh, sorry, typo, 0, 0. Oh. Then let's copy, since let's copy until router 3. So let's proceed, and let's now proceed on the fast Ethernet 0 IP address. Let's use the first Ethernet 0 is from 350 hosts. The first usable IP address of 350 the first usable IP address of 350 is 192.168.8.1. So let's paste here. So for the subnet mask, for our subnet mask, let's just proceed on this to get the subnet mask. Just look for the CDR. So for the CDR of here, the CDR for 350 hosts is CDR 23. So let's go back on our CDR 23. So the subnet mask is 255, that 255 that 255 that 254 that 0. Okay, that's 255 that 255 that 254 that 0. So first Ethernet 1 is for first Ethernet. First Ethernet is 125 hosts, 125 host has first usable IP address of 192.168.11.1. That's space. Then for its subnet mask, I just look for the number of hosts and then the CEDAR 25. CEDAR 25 has 255 that 255 that 255.128 255 255.128. So for this one, let's just check from the diagram. So this one, one hundred 92. For subnet mask is CEDAR 30, 255.155.155.52. 252. For the next one is serial number 1, SE01 is on the router 3. So for router 3, this one is this one. Then of course it's so for its subnet mask, it's the same with this one because it has the same, it's just the same CEDAR 30. So for our router 2, let's now proceed. So for our router 2, here is 765 hosts. So for our 765 hosts, let's copy the first that 192. Let's copy paste the first usable the IP address for fast the router 2 fast Ethernet 0 is 192.168.4.1. So for in order for us to get the subnet mask, let's look for the CEDAR of 765, which is CEDAR 22. CEDAR 22 has a subnet mask of 255.255.252.0 and 5 that 252 that 0 for fast Ethernet 1. So for fast Ethernet 1 is 150 hosts. For 150 hosts, so for our 150 hosts, it has first usable address of 192.168.10.1. 1. So let's paste. So for the cedar is 24. So let's look for the cedar 24. Cedar 24 is 255. That 255. That 255. That 0. Oh, it's the same pala. So for serial number 0, serial 0 is here on the router 1. So the first usable address is the router 1 is 191.11.168.11.193. So here, so here, let's copy because it's one 192.168.11.198. So now let's proceed on the router 3. So for the router 3, the fast Ethernet 0 is router 3 fast Ethernet 0. Here, the 900 host. 900 host has the first usable IP address of 192. 192.168.0.1. So for the cedar is 22. 22 is 252.252. 255.255.252.0. So let's check if here. Let's copy this one. So for the next one is for the fast Ethernet 1 is the PC3, the 50 host. The 50 host has 50 host 192 that 168 that 11 that 129. So check for the cedar is 26. 255 that 255 that 255 that 192 is the subnet mask. 255 that 252 that 252 that 192 is the subnet mask for fast Ethernet 1 on the router 3. Serial number 0 is DC. Router 2. Let's get this one. 192 that 192 that 168 that 11 that 197. So it has the same subnet mask. Serial number 1 is for the router 3. This one. Router 3 last usable IP address of router 3 is 192 168 that 11 that 202. So since we're already done for our routers, let's now proceed on our PCs. So for here, we don't have PC0 here. So NA. So let's put NA. NA. Wait. NA. Since there's no PC0. NA. Oh, NA. NA. And then for our PC1, for the PC1 to for the PC1, let's just use the for the PC1 of IP address. Let's just use the last usable IP address in every PC. For the PC1 for the PC1, it has host of 765. Let's check this. So as just like what I've said earlier, in order for us to get the IP address for each PC, we will going to use the last usable IP address. So here on the 700, so for here on the 765 host is 192.168.7.154. So the same pattern with on here on the router. In order for us to get the subnet mask, let's just look for the CDAR of 765, which is 22 CDAR. So in 22 CDAR, 255.252.252.0. Okay, let's copy this one since it's the same subnet mask. So while on the default gateway, we will input here the first usable IP address. So this is 765, and the first usable IP address is 192.168.4.1. Excuse me. So let's look for the PC2. PC2 is 350 hosts. For the 350 hosts has last usable IP address of 192.168.9.54. So for its CDAR is 23. CDAR 23 is 252. That 255, that 254, that 0. That 0. So for this one, for the default gateway, we'll just get the first usable IP address of 350 hosts, which is 192.168.8.1. So the same pattern. So the same pattern for the PC3. Let's look for the PC3. PC3 is 50 hosts. 50 hosts. So here, the last usable IP address is 192.168.11.190. And then let's check for the default gateway, and then get this one, the first usable IP address 192.168.11.129. So for the subnet mask, just look for the CDR 26. CDR 26 has subnet mask of 255.255.255.192. 192. So for our PC4, is the 150 host. 150 host has last usable IP address of 192.168.10.254. For its default gateway, let's just get the first usable IP address, which is 192.168.10.1. For the subnet mask of the PC4 is PC4 is 150 hosts, is CDR 24. CDR 24 is 250, has subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. 255.255.255.255.0. So for the next one is the PC5. PC5 is 125 hosts. 125 hosts has last usable IP address is 192.168.11.126. So let's get the default gateway of is the first, this one, that one. For its subnet mask, let's just check for the CDR of 150 hosts, which is 24. So 24. So CDR 24 has 255.255.255.0. Same with this. Oh, wait. What's that? 125. Let me check. 192. That 26. The last use and the first usable IP address is 160. Okay. Oh, correction. The CDR for 125 hosts is 25. CDR 25. So 255. That 122 is the subnet mask. Okay, let's copy this one and just change 128. For our PC6 is the 900 hosts. So for the last usable for our 900 hosts is 192.168.3.254. So, and then let's check for the first usable IP address, which is 192.168.0.1. So let's check for the subnet mask. The subnet mask, let's look for the CEDAR of 900 hosts, which is CEDAR 22. CEDAR 22 CEDAR 22 has a subnet mask of 255.255.252.0. 55.255.252.0. That 0. Let's just check each table if we did the correct inputs. Mhm. Okay. So that's it. We're now done on the demonstration of demonstrating on how to get the subnetting table and addressing scheme. That's all, and thank you so much.